Welcome back, everybody, to another season of the Windy Hill Sports. I'm Tommy. I got Alex to my left. Today we're here with the new athletic director, Mrs. Parker. She's also the activities director here at Methacton High School, and we're really thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
So why did you take the role of the athletic director here?
So I actually went to Norristown, so I am local, and my husband went to Methacton, so this was more of like a homecoming for me of coming back to an area that I'm very familiar with. I've always, liked the area, and Methacton has always had great sports, so it was an honor to come back here.
That's awesome.
Okay, what's your background? So you kind of just said it there, but what have you done here before Methacton?
So my initial degree was in athletic training. So, what Zach does, the athletic training, all the injuries and everything. I was also an assistant athletic director at that time. And then I became an athletic director and activities director at Twin Valley. And this opened up. And again, close to home, very home familiar. So I went for the job, and here we are.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Temple for my undergrad. And then I went to Cal U for my grad for my sports management degree.
Nice. And we're happy we have you here. You've only been here a couple months, but what's been your favorite part of being here so far?
The students being back. I started in June, and it was very weird to walk through the halls and not have anyone in the building. So, when the sports came back, football came back August 5th, everyone else sports came back August 12th, and then the students came back. It definitely brings a different atmosphere to the building and to the school.
All right, so you mentioned football, one of the biggest sports when it comes to athletics. What all goes into preparing for a football game? You just had your first one on Friday.
Mm-hmm. A lot of preparation goes into it. It's a lot of communicating with the other athletic director, with all of the people that are involved, from facilities to the officials to the marching band, the cheerleaders, the football team. There is a lot that goes into it. We prepare for a week in advance. I'm already preparing for homecoming next week today. So all that email will go out to everyone, to all of the opposing team and everything. But there is a lot that takes place in preparing for any type of event, but especially football.
And then football also has an acclimation week.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into that? I know you're a former athletic trainer.
Yeah, so HEAC week is the week before any of the other sports start, and that is basically for them to get acclimated to the heat, especially with wearing the pads. For that week, they can only wear uppers, so they can only wear their upper pads and their helmet. There is certain criteria of how long they're allowed to practice, how long they're not allowed to practice, how many days they can practice, how many sessions. So there's a lot that goes into that, but really it's just to get them acclimated to the heat of wearing shoulder pads and pads.
Do you know the results of that? How has it helped?
So it has helped. It's nationwide, obviously. Right. It started because kids were going out down south more. They were just going out and playing, and they weren't acclimated, so kids were having heat strokes and passing out, whereas ever since starting this, it has decreased the amount of heat strokes that across the nation. So, yeah, it's definitely helped.
What innovations, improvements have you made so far? Anything you've done so far?
So we're definitely trying to improve, making all the sports consistent,
yep.
And including all of activities. In our newsletter that goes out to the community, we make sure that all of the activities are included. So marching band's having a fundraiser, we want to make sure that they're included. The spike ball tournament, we want to make sure that they're included. Not just sports, not just football, but our smaller sports as well. Facility-wise, the only thing really we've done so far is we do have new banners at the tennis courts. I don't know if you've seen them. Yeah. It says Methacton Tennis on it. So, we're hoping to bring more branding stuff throughout the year because, you want to know where you are. Right. You want to see, the Methacton pride. Yeah.
One of the biggest changes you did make, the ticketing. What went into that?
Yes, so hometown ticketing, I absolutely love it. I love the online ticketing that you can purchase online. We can see how many people bought tickets. We can see how many people were at the event. We had over 1,200 people buy tickets for the last football game. We had over 1,000 people scan in and sign in. So it's nice that we can actually be able to see, one, who bought tickets, but two, how many tickets were actually sold. And the good thing is we're actually going to do it for dances. We're going to do it for field trips. I just set up a field trip that they're going to purchase their tickets, and the teacher can see who's going on the field trip and who is paid. So, I really think that it'll help, move us into the 21st century, but also, really get people to be interested in these events.
Was that something pushed by Dr. Euchre? When I talked to her, she said she wanted to get the money out of the kids' hands.
Yes. So this was something that kind of was started last year, but we really pushed it this year. And again, everything goes online. So that way when, if it's the art club, they can do the purchases online and it goes right into their account. So there's no transfer of, physical money or anything. It just goes right into their account.
Yeah. And talking about the online stuff, have you guys been working on, I've heard rumors that there's new social medias for certain things. Are you kind of trying to get us through that?
I'm trying to work on, the Twitter, making sure that's good. Yeah. But I did start the Instagram, which is fantastic because so many of our groups already have Instagram. So it's so easy for me to be able to see what's going on and repost and things like that. But, from the athletic standpoint, we want to make sure we're highlighting everyone and everyone's getting, their 10 seconds of fame or, whatever on the media sites.
And then we did just get a new, rebrand on the website, right? So there's like a new calendar and the way that you're adding all the activities into that calendar as well.
Yep, absolutely. So all of the activities, as long as the groups are letting me know what they're doing, we're putting it on the calendar so that way anyone can go on and see, oh, there's a mini-thon meeting after school today, or there's a sporting event. Everything, as long as I'm told about it, it's going on the website.
Mr. Clark goes off that calendar, and he said it's been great. So
awesome, very good to hear.
Yeah, we had some of the past athletic directors, Mr. Smink, Dr. Spewak, and then Mr. Conran here and there. Have they helped you or taught you anything?
I am very grateful to have Dr. Spewak sharing an office space with me. He has filled me in on so much about how Methacton does things, which has just been fantastic. I've done the athletic director job, I've done the activities job, but the way things are done at Methacton, just learning from him has been fantastic. Mr. Conran, he has been absolutely instrumental in making sure that the games are going on. I mean, he's been doing this for many years, so he knows exactly how to set the fields up, and he has taught me so much too. So between the two of them, I'm very grateful to have them as resources.
So we've talked a lot about the athletic side and then the activity side. What are some of the events that you have to do with, like homecoming, in terms of planning and then making those tickets?
Yeah, so a lot of the planning aspect, especially for activities, is in correlation with the advisors. It's not just me creating it. So, it's with the advisors that are in charge of that club. We sit down, we discuss how it's going to look, what the event's going to look like, what the ticket sales should be, when they should go on sale, when they should stop going on sale, because we can control all of that through hometown ticketing.
So how many people can you fit in the stadium turf field?
That is a good question, because it's not just the stands that you can fit, because you can also have people standing around on the sides. You can have people standing... You can have people standing on the sides. You can have people standing on the concourse. So there's also the standing room.
Okay.
So there's not... there probably is a very specific number.
You didn't put a cap?
We did not pick an actual cap. Now, if we got to like 5,000, we'd probably make it a cap. Obviously, the gym has more of a cap because there is the indoor seating. But outside, again, there is more availability with the grass and with the standing room and around the track and things like that.
I know you're not into the gym, but I am curious. What is that cap? Do you know?
I do know, but I don't know it offhand.
Okay. Like last year we had, I think it was the district game against Garnet Valley, and they said that place was packed to the brim.
Yes.
Spring forward too.
Yes.
Yeah, I have been in Methacton's gym for the Norristown Methacton game. I believe it was 3 years ago, and it was packed, standing room only.
Right.
So again, hopefully this ticket sales will also help us, not make it so that everyone has a seat and there is room for everyone.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll fill that thing up this year too.
Absolutely.
That would be cool.
Absolutely.
Back to the AD side. You look at the student athlete name, and why do you think it's important that it's student athlete and not just athlete?
We are a high school. We are a public school. Student athlete, student comes first. Grades come first. Attendance comes first. as great of an athlete as you are, your education always should come first. You never know when you're going to get injured and not be able to play again. You never know when your career is going to end, whether that be college, professional. I mean, you can't play until you're 100 years old professionally. So, that's why your education is so important, so that you can get a degree, or, you go into a field where, welding or something like that. But, making sure that you are a student first is definitely key to any student athlete.
So streaming the games is big as well. I know you guys are in the middle of a transition. What's going on with that?
Yes, so we have used NFHS before. That is a company that has live streamed in the past, but we realized that a lot of our sports teams are actually using Huddle for breakdown and for film. It is also, Huddle can be used for our kids to create highlight reels. Each kid can have their own Huddle account, and create a highlight reel that then they can send to colleges or anything like that. So what we are moving toward is to using Huddle. We already have the Huddle software program. We're just installing the cameras now. So once we get that all in place, we already have it at the stadium. So in the newsletter that goes out this week, you'll see, to watch live events at the stadium, click on this link. So we have it set up for the stadium. We've tried it out on field hockey so far, and it's worked. And then we'll eventually get the main gym and the aux field.
Okay. And then are you guys moving away then from what you said?
NFHS.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, we will be using Huddle again, since that it records, it breaks it down, so it gives you all the stats of the game. The Huddle does a lot of AI.
Is the NFHS still up right now?
The NFHS is not up at the stadium. It is up in the gym. I don't know if it's working on the aux field, but I know that the Huddle is working on the stadium.
All right.
Yeah, and then going back to like individual sports, each sport has their booster, which gets them some money for, I don't know, uniforms or clothing. How important is it for each sport to have a good booster club?
Oh, booster groups help run the programs. With the fundraising that they do and promoting the kids, just helping them even with meals. I mean, the booster groups do a ton to help each group out. They're all fantastic. I've worked with a lot of them so far, especially with the fall, even some of the spring ones, and they're all just fantastic to work with.
Okay, so the student section's a very interesting topic. What is your approach coming up this year to the student section?
Really,
one of the leaders right here.
Yeah, yes, really. The big push from PIAA is to be positive and to bench bad behavior. Bench bad behavior is one of the things that the PIAA is really pushing. I know Dr. Euchre and I are really about the positivity. We want you to be loud. We want you to be excited. But we also need you guys to be positive, not booing, not calling out the opposing team, not calling out numbers or players, not yelling anything inappropriate. But again, we want you to be loud and as loud as possible, cheering on our teams.
Yeah, and then on that, I think Methacton has had a good past for Spirit for sure. You go back to, I don't know, 5 years ago when Jeff Woodward and that huge basketball team was here. Their student section was always huge. I feel like the football game always carries. How are you trying to get students to go to all the sporting events, kind of spread it?
Promoting.
Yeah. I mean, definitely we post the social media posts out to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on, so that way they do know, hey, there's a volleyball match tonight. You can go there. Just making sure that everyone knows what's going on. I mean, we really want the tribe to come to the smaller events, the tennis matches, and things like that, because they deserve love too. I mean, they're just as much of a sport as anyone else. So yeah, we would love to have more students coming to the quote unquote smaller sports. Yeah. In addition to just keep coming to the football games, keep being loud, keep being excited. We love it.
So I want to go back to football for just a moment. So they're required to have an ambulance there, right? Or is it something?
So there's different rules. The PIAA likes to have ambulances there, or at least on call, so that you can, if there is an injury, they can come out. We do have an athletic trainer on site at every football game, and we do have a team doctor at all of the varsity games as well. So we have those 3 things. And the other school for varsity football games has their athletic trainer also. So there's a lot of medical coverage that in case something were to go on, we would have them there.
Our athletic trainer will travel with the team per se tonight for Great Valley?
Yes, for varsity games, the athletic trainer travels with the team.
Is there another sport that happens?
It only happens in playoffs and football because football is a contact sport or collision sport is technically what it's called. Because of that aspect, they go to the playoff games if available and to all of the varsity football games.
And then, you're here a lot watching some of the games after school. When you go home, is there a sport you're ever watching or team you're ever rooting for?
So I was a swimmer, so Olympics, loved watching swimming. That was, the highlight of the summer is watching the swimming. Gymnastics was really cool in the Olympics too. It was also really cool to watch some of the smaller sports like handball. I've never really seen handball, and to watch that on the Olympics was pretty cool. The archery events, those were really cool as well. In terms of watching events when I go home, it's pretty much whatever my husband decides we're watching that night. So if there's an Eagles game on, we're watching the Eagles. If there's a Phillies game on, we're watching the Phillies. If there's a Flyers game, we're watching all of them because he played hockey. He actually played hockey for Methacton.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's all sports, Philly sports.
So we kind of mentioned this earlier. I'll finish off on this. We won the Sportsmanship Award, I think, 2 seasons ago. How important is the sportsmanship piece of the sports?
Oh, I absolutely think that the fans can make or break a season, especially for a team. If you're at a baseball game and you hear those fans cheering for you, you play a little harder than when you don't hear them. And again, it's all about the positivity. You don't want to hear booing. You don't want to hear, anything negative. You want to hear that positive, and we want to hear it loud. So, the sportsmanship aspect it's about being a good sportsmanship, a good team player. And again, it can make or break a season. If you're having at a baseball game and there's no one there rooting you on, I mean, it's quiet and it's awkward. But you have your fans there and they're cheering you on nice and loud. You're going to play a little harder for them.
Yeah. All right, I got nothing else.
I got nothing. Thank you so much.
Awesome, yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, we may see you maybe at the end of the year just to do a little recap. But yeah, thank you, and let's wish some good luck to the Methacton sports teams.
Yes, absolutely.